muscles of the day, doing plural, we have the infraspinatus and the teres minor. So again, these are two more of the rotator cuff muscles. The first one we went over was the supraspinatus. It kind of runs along the top here and then crosses in front. The teres minor, which is this one here, and the infraspinatus both externally rotate the arm. So if I have my arm here, I got my thumb, and I'm rotating it out to the side. My wrist isn't doing the work, my forearms aren't doing the work, but it's actually all happening up here at that ball and socket joint. So it helps externally rotate the arm. So you have the external rotations. If you've been through physical therapy for your rotator cuff, this one's probably really familiar. Either if you're laying on your side doing this one, or bands, that's another really common one, taking both arms back and get a good squeeze. You can do this with that weight too. That's kind of what I was doing earlier with the warm-up. Got the fingers interlaced and really pushing the chest up, and I have the palms as close as I can together. Getting that big expansion of the chest, the external rotation of that ball and socket joint there. And that's really helpful because it helps pull that in place. So again, the rotator cuff muscle for all four of them, the biggest thing for them is that they're keeping the ball and socket, the ball part of the joint even in the socket. So it's not too far forward, not too far back or up or down. It's just nice and even so it can glide where it needs to go. So sometimes with these external rotators, the infraspinatus and the teres minor, make sure I'm saying that right, with these external rotators, typically they are very weak because our culture is very much the internal rotation. So we'll talk a lot about that on Wednesday. So that internal rotation throws off the balance of the rotator cuff muscles and the ball and socket joint in the shoulder. So that's where you can get a lot of shoulder pain. So working out the infraspinatus and teres minor can help even things out. And as you can see, if I go from internal rotation, I'm just focusing on my arms, by the way, I start to get a little bit of a hunch in my spine when I do that. And then when we rotate out, my spine tends to straighten. So we can see just, working with those two muscles there, getting those strengthened out, it can help with posture, of course, shoulder pain, and helps with any kind of overhead movement for sure, and anything out to the side. So working these two rotator cuff muscles are extremely important. So that's the infraspinatus and the teres minor. Again, they work together to externally rotate the arm. Because these two muscles get very tight, I'll show you guys something that you can do very easily to help release them and get some pain relief. So this is a lacrosse ball here, may or may not be common to you, not sure, but you can also use a tennis ball, like a really dense tennis ball, or even a baseball, a softball, something that has a little bit of density to it. And so you're gonna take this, and you're gonna place it where those pictures were. So it's kind of at the back of the shoulder here, and then fans out down the shoulder blade. And don't worry, you'll find it. That's the nice thing about this part of corrective exercise, is you're gonna place your body against the ball, against the wall, and you're gonna start that close to the shoulder joint, along the back of the shoulder joint here. And so sometimes you can get some tension there where it attaches. And then of course you can roll a little bit further out. You can always adjust the ball, so I need to go a little higher. And you're going under that spine of the shoulder blade. You'll know it because it'll feel kind of hard. Not usually painful, but just kind of hard. But just under that. And if this is tight on you, you will find it. So I got a spot right there. And if it feels like a very, very sore bruise, like a deep bruise, and so you can just put a little bit of pressure on it, as much pain as you can stand where you can still breathe. And still keep your face calm. You might get the at first, but see if you can calm down the face and the breath a little bit. And then you might get some muscle twitches. That's also normal, especially if it's really tight, but just continue to find those spots. Roll it around, so I need to lower mine just a little bit more. And then just take your time with it. You spend a full minute just finding these spots. I found another one there. So I'm just gonna sit and pause, breathe, and of course you can check the other side as well. And so by loosening up these muscles, it can help relieve a lot of tension in the front of the body, so those chest muscles and the other two rotator cuff muscles that internally rotate the arm, the subscapularis, and the teres major. So it helps relieve pressure for them, and it just helps with your neck It helps with your upper back pain, all sorts of things. This is one of the best tools you could ever have if you have a lot of joint pain. This lacrosse ball, tennis ball, softball, baseball is incredible, but especially for our muscles of the day, the infraspinatus and the teres minor. So there's your muscle of the day. Work those rotator cuff muscles and enjoy your great posture.